Today, we're going to talk about the most dangerous carbohydrate in the world. And no, it's not sugar.
In fact, it's far, far worse than sugar.
This carbohydrate spikes your blood sugar faster than any sweet food you can imagine, yet it's not even classified as sugar.
It's a carb person, but it hides behind a harmless mask.
And it's this very carb that silently fuels some of the most devastating modern disease: type 2 diabetes, fatty liver,
and insulin resistance, the very foundation of nearly every metabolic disorder.
When this carb enters your body, it throws your blood sugar completely out of balance. It triggers the buildup of visceral fat, the fat that wraps tightly around your organs.
And it destroys the balance of your gut microbiome, feeding the bad bacteria while killing off the good.
It's one of the most pro-inflammatory carbohydrates ever created, fueling chronic inflammation that leaves your joints aching, your intestines inflamed, and your entire body trapped in a silent storm of inflammation.
If you've ever worried about bad LDL cholesterol, this carb is its silent accomplice, driving tiny LDL particles deep into your artery walls.
The scariest part? It's sold everywhere under friendly labels like zero sugar, low calorie, or healthy choice.
It costs just 20 cents a pound because it's subsidized by the government, meaning your tax dollars are literally helping companies sell this toxin cheap. This so-called carb provides zero nutritional benefit. It's nothing more than an industrial filler added to make foods puffier, thicker, or chewy.
And the average person consumes between 65 and 250 pounds of it every year,
adding up to more than 21 billion pounds of industrial starch produced annually.
It's cheap, it's hidden, and it's everywhere, Hoverus, a quiet accomplice in almost every modern disease. By now, you've probably guessed it. The culprit is industrial starch, also known as modified food starch, cornstarch, or maltodextrin. Sound familiar? It should. It's in baby formula, gluten-free products, bread, cereals, sports drinks, snacks, practically everything.
Natural starch is simply a chain of sugar molecules.
But once it's chemically modified in a lab, those natural protective bonds are broken, turning it into a super fast sugar, one that's absorbed almost instantly and spikes blood sugar even faster than glucose itself. Industrial starch isn't just a carbohydrate, it's a lab-engineered sugar bomb hiding in plain sight. To create this type of starch, manufacturers mechanically grind, bleach, and mix it with a cocktail of chemicals. Sodium triethyl phosphate, linked to kidney damage, vascular calcification, and bone loss.
Vinyl acetate was a suspected carcinogen.
Sodium hypochlorite, the same bleach that harms tooth enamel and mouth tissue. Some of these additives are even used in infant formula, where they can impair mitochondrial function and the energy engines of our cells. And yet, all of these substances carry the label GRAS, generally recognized as safe, which really means assumed to be safe for lid, even though no long-term human studies have ever confirmed that. Ironic, isn't it? We're told these foods are safe, while in reality, they're quietly eating away at our health, Wecht, one bite at a time. When you look at the nutrition label, you'll see something like 16 grams of carbohydrates, 1 gram of fiber, and 0 grams of sugar. But what about the remaining 15 grams?
That's the hidden part, industrial starch, quietly disguised under vague terms like modified starch or cornstarch.
It's there, unlisted in plain sight, waiting for you to take the next bite. What you don't see is what may harm you the most. And yet, all of these substances carry the label GRAS, generally recognized as safe, which really means assumed to be safe for lid, even though no long-term human studies have ever confirmed that. During its breakdown, it produces aldehydes, the same toxic compounds used in embalming fluid.
Another byproduct, acetaldehyde, is the very toxin your body generates after drinking alcohol.
The one responsible for your headaches, nausea, and fatigue the next morning. Over time, these toxins damage cells in every organ, even the brain, accelerating aging and cognitive decline. And yet, it's hiding in plain sight. Parlance, quietly destroying health, molecule by molecule.
When you fry, bake, or cook this starch together with industrial seed oils, you're creating a toxic cocktail that destroys tissues and cells from the inside out.
Just take a look at some of the everyday favorites. French fries, 80% starch, 15% seed oil. Crackers, 70% starch, 25% seed oil.
Breakfast cereals, 80% starch, with a little sugar and oil mixed in.
Breakfast cereals, 80% starch, with a little sugar and oil mixed in.
We think we're just having a little snack, but in reality, we're feeding ourselves tons of chemicals and empty calories. Every bite of these foods fuels a silent fire, one that starts in your kitchen and ends in your body. By biological definition, food is something that nourishes, regenerates, and heals the body. Today's processed foods are filled with synthetic sugars, seed oils, and modified starches that are silently poisoning us. And yet, thanks to legal loopholes, these products are still allowed to carry the label food. So you, the consumer, keep believing you're eating normally. In reality, 55 to 75% of the calories in processed foods come from starch, 20 to 35% from seed oils, and 5 to 20% from synthetic sugars.
Hey, this isn't nourishment. It's an illusion dressed as food.
Today, a child's diet is made up of 6 to 5% ultra-processed foods. That's about 55 pounds of industrial starch every year.
For teenagers, the number jumps to 106 pounds a year.
For adults, around 6-7 pounds annually. In other words, the majority of the energy we eat each day now comes from food that isn't truly food at all. We're feeding generations on imitation food and calling it nourishment. Here's the harsh truth. We've been convinced that sugar is the #1 enemy, while quietly consuming a carbohydrate far more toxic every single day without realizing it. Industrial starch is nothing less than sugar in disguise. It hides in everything we eat, every healthy product, every low-sugar snack, every guilt-free label. And it is this silent ingredient that forms the very foundation of modern chronic disease.
It's not just sugar we need to fear anymore, it's what's hiding behind it.